What's going on, beautiful people? Welcome once again. Hope everyone is doing amazing out there. Hope you're having a wonderful day or eve, whatever time it is, wherever you are in the world. Yep, I'm out on the motorcycle, just enjoying being on the streets, the scenery, just having a jolly old time. Of course, not every single time is going to be fun and jolly. The road does have its obstacles and its challenges. My favorite part of riding is navigating those challenges and also coming out unscathed. It's also fun to go back home, review the footage of my ride, and see how I navigated those obstacles. And it's actually become another fun thing that I enjoy. So, what I've done is compile some of those not so close calls that I had most recently, and I'm going to play those and perform an action review on myself so you get to see what my thought process was in those moments. So, with that, let's move over to the first video. Okay, speed bump. Okay, this road I know because there's a very sharp left corner coming up and it immediately goes to another sharp right. Okay, we have one vehicle, two vehicles, three vehicles, and then we have that. Yes, I remember this one. All right, so let's take it from the top. So with this one, speed bump slows down the movement of vehicles due to an obstruction. So if you were on this road and you were heading in this direction, right here, then it means you are approaching a junction. So there would be vehicles coming across the road. So speed bump is going to slow down that movement. You're heading in the direction that I'm headed currently, which is in this direction. You definitely want to slow down because around this corner is a very sharp left turn. So that's cool. Let's see how I did on this one. Over the speed bump, so immediately you can see the distance between the vehicle ahead of myself has increased, and it's because my speed has definitely decreased, so this gives the vehicle ahead of me a head start. Super.
So far, so good.
Moving along. So riding, getting ready to approach that sharp left turn. Immediately to the left, I see a warning for me to decrease my speed, and this is most probably due again to the very sharp left turn coming up. So, all right, let's see again. Let's see how I did. So approaching that corner, we have one vehicle, two vehicles. Now also, I remember one thing from this ride. I want to give those two vehicles some props. So if you notice where they're riding, they're actually edging the outside of the road. And what this does is this opens up the road for me. So now I have more than enough room to navigate, more than what I need. So all I need to do is just maintain a straight line and prepare for my turn. So kudos to this vehicle and that vehicle. You guys definitely get green check. Oops, green. The other green. So you guys definitely get green check marks. Thank you so much. All right, let's move along. Also, I remember another challenge coming up. This one is not as easy to recognize, but right here we have some dogs. At the sight of the dogs, I knew I had to decrease my speed. So I decreased my speed just in case one of the puppies decided, you know what, I'm going to cross the road. Definitely had my speed a lot slower because I observed the dogs on the left. And because my speed was slow, it gave me more than enough time to realize that, this vehicle right here is not where it's supposed to be. It's moving across my lane. Now, looking a little further on, I spotted that this vehicle seemed to be pointing or aiming for this direction right here. So that means most probably he was taking a parking spot between those two vehicles. So easiest thing to do, I knew how to bring my speed down, and this would give me more than enough time to navigate. But I still needed to keep an eye on 1, 2, 3 doggies and hope that none of the doggies decided that they would want to go across that road. So let's see how I handle that. So slow down, and you could see here that definitely this vehicle was looking for a parking spot. So as I move, I look towards the vehicle, but still ensuring that I maintain visual with the road ahead of me. So I can still see ahead of me, can still see around here up until this vehicle. And I do notice that there are 1, 2, 3 vehicles on the way. This one has gone past. So my eyes need to be kept here. So unless it was a glance, let's see how I did. I've already navigated the obstacle, so it's time to move on with my day. And that's basically it, just like that. Get it moving, move on with my day. Nothing to see here. Life is good. No one got injured. And let's move on to the next video. There we go, heading up the hill. Vehicle ahead of me decreases its speed, getting ready for the sharp left turn, and then we have this. So okay, so that's gonna be the next video. Let's run through my thought process. So as I am coming up this hill right here, I'm noticing that there's a vehicle ahead of me. The entire time this vehicle has been ahead of me, so it's important for me to maintain this distance, or I can make it greater, but definitely I don't want to make it slower, especially with this sharp left turn coming up. I want to ensure that I'm prepped and ready in the unlikely event.
So far, so good.
And as you approach the corner, alright, so there it is, that sharp left turn. I've decided to head out a bit so that I can take this turn and close it in as close as possible. But this vehicle, on the other hand, has decided to head straight up and take this turn very sharp. But what I do observe as I head round is right here. I can see a vehicle already poking its nose. I need to prep myself for that by ensuring that when I take this turn, I head in as quickly as possible. So let's see how I do there. And it's not my emergency, but this vehicle right here, I've noticed, is a little too close to this guy right here. One of the reasons for that is this vehicle seemed to have decided to take this line. It's a little too close to this vehicle right here, and I guess what I would have done to improve this turn is to head up a lot more and then come all the way around. So it would have avoided being an obstruction to any vehicles in the opposite direction. But let's see what happens. Okay, those two vehicles went off unscathed. A little shake of the head like, yo, what are you doing? Life is good, and we continue on. With this next video, right in, vehicles parked on the side, no big deal. So one vehicle ahead of me, sharp right turn coming up, but this vehicle has pulled off, a little bit of a swerve. Alright, this one is interesting. I remember this one as well. A few other things I observed. So let's go a little further back. So this one It's a very quiet street. It's not a main highway or anything of that sort. And I do recognize that with this one, there is a sharp turn coming up. So I need to prep myself for this. But of course, as I look a little further up ahead, there are brake lights on this vehicle. So it could also mean that this vehicle is prepping for a sharp turn as well. So let's see what happens here. So as this vehicle starts to turn, I notice that speed has decreased dramatically, and therefore this means that the gap between us has closed. And if you notice, I'm all prepped and ready. Got the brakes, front brake, and I've got the clutch secured, ready to react. So quick thinking, and now I need to plan an escape, and my only escape would be to swerve, head back in, and prep for that sharp turn, because of course there is still the danger of a vehicle coming around this turn. So it's important for me when I swerve to immediately get back into my lane and come across. But as of this moment, I still don't know if this is a complete stop or if this is a slowdown. So let's see what happens. So vehicle has come to a complete stop, because now I can see the distance between us has definitely gotten a lot smaller, but my position so far seems to be good. So I don't expect to run into this vehicle right here. Smartest choice would be to just swerve. As I head around, I look back, and I remember observing though, I don't know if you could see, but right about here, there is a crack in the door. So that means whoever this driver was knew that they were coming to a stop. Of course, there was no indicator, so I did not know that this person was coming to a stop. But quick thinking took me out of that situation, and I was able to get out of there unscathed and just kept on riding. Crisis averted, nothing to see here, keep it moving. Okay, final video. This one is definitely a highway, approaching a roundabout. Pedestrian crossing, no pedestrians crossing at the moment. So I continue on. So we have so many little intersections on this one, and I am heading to the left, and this person is coming in with me, and I'm wondering what is going on. Head shake, and then I'm out. Alright, so this one is going to be a little tricky to explain. So let's see how best I can do this. Approaching a roundabout, I want you to pay attention to this vehicle right here. So we have a red minibus. I want you to pay attention to this guy, because this guy is going to be important in the video. So as I press play, approaching the roundabout, so there it is, we have that minibus. There is definitely a gap here, but for some reason he does not seem to want to use this gap. There's a gap between this vehicle and them, and he's not too keen on closing that gap. So immediately I'm thinking he wants to move to this lane right here. So let's see what happens. Let's see if I was correct in my read. I go past, still can't make him out in my review, and there he is. So as expected, as I look in my review mirror, I can see him right there behind me. So he had absolutely no intentions of staying onto this lane. Instead, he moved over to my lane. No big deal. That's not illegal. That's pretty safe. So let's see what happens here. We continue on. Oh, also, we are now at a roundabout, and oh man, there's so much going on here. So we have this roundabout. You can take this lane, you can take this lane, or you can come back and head in the opposite direction, which would be these two lanes right here. So roundabout has basically spoken to me and told me what I can do. There's nothing I can do on this side, but there's a lot I can do on this side. So I am definitely in the right lane. And we're moving on. So pedestrian crossing coming up, but the pedestrians that were on the crossing have already gone by, and we have 3 of them. They're heading in this direction. So unless there is some other person standing right here, I should be clear to move forward. So I proceed with caution. So let's see how I did there. Slowly. Okay. So at the roundabout, generally vehicles who are coming this way would have priority. So the vehicles heading in this way would have priority, and also this sign right here would let you know that, because it says to give way. Let me see if I could get that sign. Just need to come back a few frames. Oops. Alright, so pedestrian crossing again, and right there, this is where this sign is going to let me know that I need to give way to vehicles that are coming from this direction. So if anything is coming in this direction, I need to stay put right here. Alright, so let's see how well I did. Quick glance, all vehicles currently moving over in the opposite direction, so far that's good. That's going to give me the okay to continue to cross. And then another glance on the left to ensure no vehicles are moving over to my lane. Very good. So when I get to here, you can see that this vehicle is moving left, and I know it's barely visible, but I have an indicator on. Let's see if you can see that right here. So I have an indicator right here, barely visible, but it's on. So with this indicator, I was basically letting vehicles know that I am moving around. Okay,
So far, so good.
I continue on. I get to this point in the roundabout, and I'm keeping my eyes to the left, because this is where all the dangers are. So remember, all vehicles coming from this side or this side would have priority, and all vehicles will have to come to a complete halt. And this is emphasized by the same sign I saw earlier. You'll notice it right here. This sign is basically saying to give way. So these vehicles would have to wait right here until they're certain they know what the vehicles heading this direction are doing. Because you could continue to go straight, or you could make a turn and head back in the opposite direction. So, okay, having said that, I see that one vehicle has already crossed this mark, and this vehicle right here has already crossed this mark and is continuing on. So I need to keep my eyes on this vehicle right here as I continue to ride. So let's see. And my eyes are on that vehicle, because I need to maintain eye contact to see exactly what they're doing. Because there is a possibility that this vehicle would not even be traveling in my direction, but they would continue straight ahead this way. And if they do, this is exactly where I'm going. All I have to do is let this vehicle go ahead of me, and then I'll just trail from behind. So let's see what happens there. Keeps coming. So by this point in time, I realize that this vehicle is definitely not heading the same direction as me, because there's no way for this vehicle to turn and head back in this direction because of this block right here. So now my path has been obstructed. So I don't have a choice. I can't go this way anymore. I'll have to simply divert, and if needs be, head back around the roundabout and then come back in. But I have another option. I can allow this vehicle to continue on, slow down my speed, and when I catch my brake, then I continue on. So let's see what happens there. So I allow the vehicle to go ahead. So there it is, that red minibus from earlier has finally showed its face right here. And also, please observe that my indicators are still on, indicating that my path of travel was intentionally this way. But because of this vehicle that had been compromised, so I had to swerve a little bit, but continued on. So far I've averted any crises. That keeps it moving. So now I'm side by side with that bus, and then it decided to stop. So it stopped to allow some passengers, but how I avoided contact with this bus is because I was riding alongside and not directly behind. So had I been behind that bus and it stopped, I could have made contact, but I had a fantastic line of sight, which showed me that I had all of this road to go before I take this sharp turn right here. And just like that, I've averted 2 crises on this particular ride. Just kept it moving, went on with my day, all was well. So now we've come to the end of my second live after action review. I hope it helps persons who are learning to navigate the roads. I hope my thought process can assist you, and I wish you all the best on the roads. Stay safe. As always, get control of your body, take time for your mind, love yourself first so you can love others. Until the next time, peace. 4, 3, 2, 1.
So far, so good.